Fun Frisky Friday. We're recording this live tonight. Later than I wanted to, but I was getting some shit done. I had the leg day, killer leg day workout. Got my fresh haircut, looking fresh. So fresh, so clean, baby. Woo! But I'm not feeling so fresh, so clean for the Niners. I'll get to them in a second. Holy shit, they got a lot of problems. I'm starting to figure out what the hell's going on. Good win for the Rams last night. I know that was an ugly football game. Hell, I took a nap. I passed out last night. I hit the yeet, went night-night. But good win for the Rams last night. Gutted out, gritty, grindy kind of game. I'm all for it. I'm all for those kind of football games last night. I love me a high-scoring 42-44, kind of crazy game. But I'm all for sometimes a little bit of this, rock 'em, sock 'em, slug it out, rain fest. I'm all for it. Now, I know it's bad product and all that other bullshit. All these people on Twitter complaining, I had to watch that game last night. Oh, my God. Really? You had to watch that game? Or are you going to turn on the Pelicans-Kings game on Thursday night? Get the fuck out of here, moron. The answer's no. Quit complaining. I get it. It was hard for me to watch, but I got to make this video. I got to do content so you guys can watch it, okay? And it's my job to do it. So, I want to start with the Niners last night. That was embarrassing. I mean, I heard they had a team meeting. I guess that didn't go well. I mean, this whole season for the Niners has been a shit show. I mean, it's been a lot of drama for a team that lost in the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, give me a break, man. Listen, last night, to me, my big takeaway was, and I'll get to this in a second, it went closed. Like that, night-night. It was Mike Tyson, 1-2, uppercut, knockout. Bye-bye. Because it's over for the Niners. This core, this team, it's over. And you got some decisions to make. Do you pay Purdy? Do you not pay Purdy? If I'm the Niners, what's the rush? It's what are we doing? Listen, Purdy is pretty good. That was a wordplay. But my point is, you can't do it. Why don't you just sit it out? Ride it out one more year. And maybe with the guys being in and out, to me, he's very dependent on the situation. He's a trailer more than a truck kind of quarterback. And that's fine. But you have to make sure everything around him is perfect. And right now, it's not. And I understand Kyle McShanahan loves him. And I get it. But he's got to kind of go, you know what? I got to try something different here. Now, what do? I don't know. Listen, he's loved in the locker room, and that matters in the NFL. It does. When you're a quarterback, you got to have some likability with those guys, and they swear by him. I get it. But last night, to me, and I felt for Brock Purdy last night in this sense. Hey, Debo, shut the fuck up. All these receivers, and I swear to God, first quarter, I watched it last night, he's force-feeding that ball to him. To Debo, because Debo complained, and I want my touches. Okay, Debo, we heard you. Okay? We heard you. I heard you loud and clear, bro. You want your touches. Oh, my God. Oh. Last night proved to me you're done. You're washed. Not washed, but you're not what you used to be. Just throwing it out. Why the hell did you not get Kittle the ball last night? He's elite. Jennings is elite. He's elite. Hell, he was your third receiver, and he looks great. That Ram game early in the year where they blew that lead, but I saw the moments. I'm like, damn, who's 15? He's balling. So there's just a lot going on, and the Niners got some decisions to make because I would not pay Brock Purdy that money. I would not yet, because I got to see him do it with a year when everything goes to shit. Can he elevate the people, or does he have to be carried? I'm thinking the latter. He's got to be carried. And the other thing is his comp was very Drew Brees, a more like a playmaker kind of gamer kind of quarterback, and he doesn't have that in his arsenal right now because he's never going to hang his hat on the elite arm strength of Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. He can't do any of that. He doesn't have the elite mobility like a Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have that. He's got to be very accurate, precise, make good decisions. And I think that drives Kyle Shanahan nuts sometimes with Brock, and I could kind of see it. And I just last night, I get Kyle Shanahan's system is so great, and I understand it. But this is where, to me, when I look at Kyle Shanahan, he's got to adapt a little bit and got to pivot. Because we all understand, and I heard Jay Gruden talk about this, John Gruden's brother, was everything, the run game, when that's clicking and it predecessors off the play action game, that's when they're elite and they scare you. But they don't have a drop back game. And unlike Miami, they run the football. And they kind of mask some of their offensive line deficiencies, but they have a drop back pass game. Tua, drop back, launch, go. That's how it works. So to me, Miami, I get they need the run game to work, and I understand that. Mike McDonald learned from Kyle Shanahan, he was a run game guru. I get all that. But I'm noticing in Miami, like, I wouldn't have paid Tua, and I have no problem with Tua. My problem is giving Tua the money that they gave Tua. That's my issue. And I feel like the Niners are going to fall in this trap again, too, where you're going to pay Purdy more than he needs to, and he can't elevate the people around him. And last night was evident of that. That pick at the end of the game was awful. Now, listen, the Rams, I'll give them get to their flowers in a second. That defense is getting better. That defensive line with First and Fisk, those two teammates at Florida State, and those corners and that whole defense shut them out last night. And my thing with Kyle Shanahan is, hey, dude, that's not working. What's your second gear? What's your second act? What's your pitch? You're like a pitcher with one gear. It's fast. It's speed. It's a fastball down the middle. Okay. When that's clicking, great. Do you have a changeup? Do you have a screwball? Do you have something in that arsenal where you could kind of turn up the gears a little bit? Put it instead of first gear, shift it in the second or whatever. And I just feel like Kyle Shanahan, I don't know if his ego's too big. I don't know. He kind of comes off like his dad a little bit, like father, like son. Ego, I get it. Pride, I get it. I understand it. But you got to adapt and you got to evolve. Adapt or die, and they say in Moneyball. One of my favorite movies of all time. But my point is, I just felt like last night watching that game, the Niners are done. This window's over. It's shut. They got a lot of decisions to make. And Kyle's got to go back to the drawing board and figure some shit out. And the whole Campbell thing last night, I mean, what a pussy that guy is. I mean, really? What the fuck, man? You left the game? I mean, this is screaming to me, this generation. And I hate shitting on it because I'm part of it. But Dana White said it, man. We're going to run these soft-ass pussies over. They ain't going to know what hit them. And I'm feeling like tonight was a prime example of what this culture of football has done. Because it's not how I knew and grew up with it. Near the end of 2010s and 13. I got coached hard. And I saw it live in high school. So, Niners got a lot of work to do. And I thought the Niners, man, like, my dad's like, well, you thought they were good? And I'm like, yeah, I did too. But then all this shit I figured out, I'm like, okay, Ricky Pierce, okay, almost getting shot and dying. And then the Ayuk holdout. And then the Debo bullshit. And then the injuries are an old brittle team. And I'm like, shit. But last night became evident to me, they're not just old, brittle, and expensive. They got a culture problem. I mean, this is like 4 stories now. The Niners, they keep leaking oil. And I just feel like they got to do something. And they're going to have a long offseason in Santa Clara with the Niners. And very disappointing season from hell and disappointment for the Niners. Okay, Rams standpoint. I went on a diatribe there about the Niners, but I wanted to get my points out. Last night, the Rams. That was a good win. Still alive in the playoffs. They're going to win this division. I mean, who would have thought that? I'm looking at my notes here. I think I picked the Rams. Let me look. I did. Clear. Fuck yeah. All right. I did pick the Rams last night. Before the season, as most people know, to win the division. Okay. I still think that's the key. Now, could Seattle sneak into that? I do believe that. Now, Seattle's key the next 2 games. They got Green Bay and Minnesota at home. That's going to be the key. Now, I was thinking about this on the ride home tonight from the gym. If they win at least one of those, they got to win at least one. Minnesota's a wild card. But I think both those teams, they could lose to Seattle. Now, I think Seattle could beat them, but I also have the ladder of going, I don't think they can win. Because I think it's a first year. Geno Smith's good, not great. You're playing Jordan Love. Sam Darnold's doing really well. So we'll see what happens in that sense. But the Rams, I mean, Matt Stafford, man, when he's humming, and I know last night, what I love about the Rams, they know bullshit going on. They're well run. It's not to knock the Niners. I just think the Niners had more drama than the Rams. And the Rams, to me, they just went in. They're like, okay, yep, hey, Matt, you're throwing like 9 picks tonight. It felt like that early. Hey, just don't. We're done. Like, all right, You threw a bunch of picks. Let's roll with it. Let's go. And we're going to run the football, get out of here with a fucking win, because it was ugly last night. And it was. But I think the Raiders are a playoff team. I mean, this is how they kind of start. Shitty, get good, playoffs. And they've been like this lately. And I just love watching Stafford. I mean, that guy, he's just one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. I've been saying this for a while. He's a modern-day Favre. I mean, they got elite playmakers. Their defense, as I just mentioned, is elite. Their front four is nasty. They're physical. They're tough. That travels in the postseason. So a lot of things, and they got a elite head coach. They got Matt Stafford, who's got a bunch of years left. I believe we'll see. And the other thing with the Rams that I noticed last night, they're very unselfish. They're selfless players. Like, Matt Stafford doesn't need to throw for 40,000 yards in that game. He could kind of say, hey, Sean, what do you want me to do? Let's go run the ball. And I appreciate that. In this day and age with me, I'm all for that kind of thing. And I think the Rams are going to make the playoffs. Now, the way the seeding goes, I think they would get a home playoff game, because if they win the division, they get a home playoff game. That's how it is. Now, who would they play? Maybe Green Bay. Washington, maybe. You know, give or take. I think the Rams' schedule lately near the end lightens up. You know, Arizona, we never know. They're hot and cold, mainly because of their quarterback, him being a moody little bitch. Let's be frank here. And they got the Jets coming up, which should be a win. And then they got some games on the stretch they should win. So, I do think the Rams are elite. They got a elite head coach, elite quarterback, players that travel. And I just was marveling at the selflessness that the Rams had last night and displayed. No pandering, no bullshit. I appreciate that. So, the last thing I wanted to touch on was my guy, Sammy Darnold. Woo! Sammy Darnold. Bravo. We need to give him a round of applause. He's been balling lately. I've been so happy to watch him succeed. I love this kid. And, you know I got a love for him because he's got my name. But I've been watching this kid since that Rose Bowl 2016 when I was in Florida on vacation with my parents. I went and said, that's it. I was thinking about that driving home tonight from the gym after a killer leg day. My point is, Minnesota's got a dilemma on their hands. Now, I'm going to throw this out. Minnesota's in a weird spot. Now, I said this a couple weeks ago, and it kind of came up tonight on my drive home, listening to John Middlecoff, and he had a mailbag question about this. Now, I wanted to get my spin on my end. I believe you keep Sam Darnold and franchise him because you cannot let him go. You can't. I know you gave JJ that thing, but Sam offers more to the table than JJ McCarthy. JJ's not bad arm. He's a really good athlete. I'm not disputing that. My cousin Matt Schiffler knows because he went to Nazareth in Naperville, or in Illinois, the high school. And he's an elite player. I'm not disputing that. So, but I just think, to me, with Sammy, could he get more money in the market? Probably. But, I mean, well, I would take Sam Darnold right now as a Raider fan. I would take him. But we're not stable enough in the organization to go, hey, Sammy, carry us. Now, I've been feeling like he's been doing that a lot. USC, the shithole that's been going on. And God, that program's just a shithole. And I'm not even a USC fan, but I was rooting for Sam Darnold. University of Spoiled Children, by the way. Just throwing that out. But, not to throw shade. But it's going to be interesting because, in my opinion, I would keep Sam Darnold with the way that they're playing and the way this thing's been moving. Now, it's going to be interesting with their coaching this situation because Brian Flores may be getting offers and stuff. We don't know. But let's just ride this out. Do not cut them. Don't trade them yet. Because there's still a lot of season left. And I think Minnesota is dangerous in this playoffs. I really do. They got a elite head coach, quarterback's balling. They got defense that's suffocating, that can be and get after you. And that stadium's loud as hell. So we got to see how the NFC shakes out. I know I'm posting this a lot later tonight than I wanted to. Appreciate you guys staying put, staying true to my content, keeping it real. Always hit the like, subscribe, share button, and talk to you guys soon. I got a lot more coming up. Great slate of games Sunday. Bills, Lions, Super Bowl matchup. You got Packers, Seattle. I watched that Steam, the Pearl Jam, Even Flow. Hell yeah. Let's go. Eddie Vedder's voice. Nothing better than that. I have the 10 album, by the way, on vinyl. One of my collections. So I cannot wait for this weekend. The Battle of Pennsylvania, Philly, and Pittsburgh. And also, by the way, stay tuned for that, because that Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown bullshit, like last night with Purdy, might percolate into that game on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So, hope you guys have a great night, and stay tuned throughout the weekend and the week.